And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. Maui Jim Sunglasses, the choice of the best captains. Shimano Rods and Reels, fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Welcome back, hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Pete Gray here with Rock Cod Rick Maxa, having a great time talking fishing, clothing, hardware, all kinds of good stuff with Greg Stotesbury from Aftco. And, boy, what an amazing prize we're giving away today.
You're not kidding today. We talked about it the first hour of the show. We're going to certainly do the same. That Horizon fleece, the brand-new killer fleece from Aftco. And like Greg was saying, it's a lot of advancement when it comes to stuff. And that's the other thing. You know, clothing and fabrics and things like that, it's like electronics. You get so used to the same computer you had, 5 years ago, and then when it finally dies and you re-up, you realize, like, oh, my gosh, like there is so much more out there. And the Horizon fleece certainly represents that. The waterproofness or water-resistant layer, but super warm and flexible and easy to wear. We're giving away that brand-new Horizon fleece and the matching Vesto vest that goes along in that same line. So a very, very cool couple of garments for you at the end of the show today. If you get lucky and are the winner, and if you want to get your shot at that, or better yet, just your chance to talk to Greg about some killer fishing and some great information, there's 2 ways that you can reach us on Let's Talk Hookup. And first is with our local line, which is 858 area code 457-1090, or call us toll-free. That one's 877-792-1090.
Indeed, and I got to remind you, once again, the Shelter Island Boat Launch facility is going through a major renovation starting in January, right after the Bay Bass Tournament. And this Thursday at the Port Administration Building at 5:30 to 7 o'clock, they're going to be having an open house discussing the changes and all the plans, and you can actually see what's going to happen. There's going to be a good visual on what's going on there, thanks to our friend Bill over at the Port Administration that helped us out and keeping us informed there. So you want to know what's going to happen to that launch ramp right there at Shelter Island, and the schedule, the plan, see the whole thing. Port Administration Building is right there on Pacific Highway. It's this Thursday, November 17th, 5:30 to 7 o'clock. Go check it out for sure. Also want to remind you to check out our trips page at hookup1090.com. We have a lot of great trips that are posted right now, including we have 1 spot left on that Journeyman 2.5 day on January 15th I'm going on out of Puerto Vallarta. 3 spots left on that Journeyman 3.5 day that Rick's going on in March. We just posted the dates for our Cedros Adventures trip, one at the end of July that Rock Cod Rick will likely host, and then one in the end of June that will be available. We also, we talk a lot about Guadalupe and how hard it is to get on a trip to Guadalupe Island. The trip I just went on the Shogun, we've posted that trip up there. It's November 4th through the 10th next year. It's a 6-day trip, and of course, as long as pending the permits, we'll be at Guadalupe on that trip. And that trip's going to sell out so quickly, and we just opened it up to the public yesterday, and I know it's already filling up quickly. So you want to jump on that Shogun trip with me next year. It's all on our trips page, hookup1090.com. You can check all that out, all the Alaska trips and the long-range trips and all the different things we can do are on our trips page, Hookup1090. Of course, the East Cape trips, the Rancho Leonero trip in June, the Palmas de Cortez Fall Spectacular in October, all posted, all the information, all the contacts, how you make reservations. Hookup1090.com. Go to the trips page. It's all there.
Yeah, all right. Well, hey, let's jump into the phones. And again, if you want to get through our local line, totally packed right now, but we do still have a toll-free number open. That's 877-792-1090. Let's talk to Matt, calling us from Newport this morning. Good morning, Matt. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Matt,
I just wanted to compliment you guys that the clothing is so popular now that decades ago I'd be wearing your gear and the deckhands would say, "What are you trying to be, a ninja?" But nowadays everybody wears your clothing, so it's not, you don't look strange wearing your stuff anymore.
Yeah, and protecting yourself from the sun either. You don't look strange doing that.
No, it was fun yesterday on the lake seeing guys wearing the Aftco the Samurais. That's such a popular shirt that surprised to see some of those being worn. But, yeah, it's really changed people's thoughts about protecting themselves from the sun and what kind of clothing you can wear. And get the performance that you need and sun protection.
I remember Bill saying a lot of years ago that the buffs, back in Florida, it was way more popular to see a guy wearing a buff than it was to see wearing a ball cap. And I used to joke all the time, like, well, yeah, that's just because the weirdos out in Florida. That'll never happen here. Don't worry about that. And now I'll bet we sell certainly just as many buffs, or face masks or all the, that's the cool thing about Aftco. We make all the different, steps of them, whether it's just a very easy buff or a full face mask with a vent for breathing through. But, we sell just as many of those as we do ball caps anymore.
Yeah. Those Aftco, the newer style Aftco face masks, too, with the breathability through it now, really
I love
nice.
that.
I like them better because they don't fog your glasses as bad.
Big time.
And I was actually wearing one on the lake yesterday. It's great when you're flying across the lake to hold your hat on and keep it from going away.
Oh, yeah. It works. Yeah, double duty there.
And, when it's really cold out or you're having to run in rain or anything, having that Aftco mask on is awesome. It really protects you from the rain and the wind as well as the sun. So, yeah, it has definitely changed the way people dress out here.
Well, and that show proves that Aftco is designed by fishermen for fishermen. I know that's an overused line, but by gosh, it's true, right?
Yeah, it is. Everything we've got, the guys that design it, not only do they spend a ton of time in the outdoors, but they always run it by those of us in the business that are on the water a lot, and we give it the thumbs up or the thumbs down, and most of the time it's thumbs up.
I'll tell a quick story about just the little design stuff. People, as you can imagine, guys come in. Clothing has become a popular thing, and we have people come into the tackle store all the time. Hey, I'm this new brand, and I want you to check out our fishing shorts. We think you guys should sell them. It happens all the time, and Doug does the exact same thing every time. And they'll have a plier pocket or something like that, and they'll put them on. And the first thing we'll do is we'll put a pair of pliers in it, and you'll realize that it's way too shallow and things flip out. We'll grab a pair of Aftco shorts. We're like, this is what you're not doing. And and it's little things like you wouldn't think that an extra 2 inches of depth or width or whatever makes the difference, but those are the things that non-fishermen people think about. That's just something that we'll line this pocket with something, we'll call it a plier pocket and call it a day. But Aftco's been around for 30 years of designing shorts, and the difference, and there isn't a comparison.
Stuff's been evolving since 1989, I think.
89.
Yeah, 88 or 89.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Amazing. Hey, thanks a lot for the call, Matt. Appreciate that very much. That does free up 877-792-1090.
How about next up we talk to Lou, calling us from Fullerton this morning. Good morning, Lou. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, Pete, Ricky, Greg. Hey, question. I was on the road and I caught the last part of, you were talking about that jacket that's going to be coming out that's been enhanced with zipper, fabric, and all. I have the Solitude. Is that going to be comparably as good and as water prevention as the new one?
It's going to be way beyond that. The anhydrous, the new one that we've got, which is called anhydrous, is way beyond anything we've ever had. It's beyond most anything that anybody else has, primarily due to the E-Vent fabric and its ability to not only wick moisture but to be completely waterproof. So the anhydrous gear that's coming out has got tremendous ability to keep you dry, and then it's got just an insane amount of features in it that our designers have dug up, scrounging around wherever to find all the little zippers and the catches and the adjusters for the cords and all that kind of stuff. It's
all waterproof.
It's all waterproof. It's like, stand in sideways rain waterproof.
So you could go riding at 40 miles an hour into the wind and taking spray full on in a center console, and you're staying dry.
Yeah, I think that poor Matt Florentino in our office, who's our marketing director on the clothing side, I think he had to go with his dad, Benny Florentino.
Oh. No, that's kind of what I was referring to.
On a choppy afternoon and stand in front of the console as he was running the Ranger back from Catalina in a hard side wind. At least that's the story I heard.
That's funny.
And so he took a beating and he stayed dry. So
yeah.
Well, it seems like my Solitude right now is crying, has tears coming down, because it knows it's going to stay in the closet forever.
About to get replaced?
Well, there's different jackets. Different jackets for different applications. And granted, the anhydrous stuff is going to be insanely waterproof and have all these awesome features. It's also pricey. And probably the outfit you'd want if you're going to be in extreme conditions. But in less extreme conditions, like if you want to take your Solitude jacket and shove it in your backpack on an overnight trip just in case, then that would be the better application for that product.
Yeah, and that I throw it in my bag all the time. It packs really nicely, and it's real small, and works very well.
Perfect for that.
Yeah, indeed.
All right, fellas, have a nice weekend.
Thanks, Lou.
Thank you.
Appreciate the call this morning. Freeze up, 858-457-1090.
All right, next up, let's talk to Steve. He's calling us from Aliso Viejo. Good morning, Steve. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Morning, Steve.
Good morning, gentlemen. I just have a quick question with the holidays coming up. Does the Aftco website sell gift certificates so I can have my family
Good idea.
purchase those for me?
They do. If you go to the website there, if you don't see right off the bat there about the gift certificates, I know they are available. You can email us and we'll get that taken care of for you. No problem.
That's a
All
great
right,
idea.
one more thing. Do you have like a size chart? It always seems like I'm in between medium and large on things. Is there one on there as well?
You know, I would have to say right now no, but it's in the works. They've just revamped the whole Aftco website, and there's going to be an awesome size chart on there that's going to give you all that information. It's not on there right at this minute, but literally within the next few days you're going to start seeing that stuff on
And
there.
Steve, I am so exactly like you, like somewhere between medium and large kind of guy. Now, when you have high-end gear like the anhydrous, are you going to have kind of in-between sizes?
I don't think so,
Yeah.
Pete, because of the fit of the anhydrous gear is such that you can kind of cross over between large and medium or large and XL.
Because you can layer.
It's cut plenty generous to be layered underneath.
Uh-huh.
My recommendation, if you're going to buy anhydrous and spend that kind of dough, I would walk into
Yeah.
Fisherman's Landing or your dealer of choice and try it on and make sure you are 100% happy with it. That would be my recommendation.
Okay.
Fred Hall Show is probably going to be a really good opportunity for somebody to do like that. You know, walk into the booth,
Perfect.
literally get to, you know, you're going to get to see probably all sizes on display. You know, you're going to get to talk. I mean, it's an investment that you're making, but it's your foul weather gear. And I mean, if you're a Southern California fisherman, maybe not so much this last year, but I mean, let's face it, you fish all year long. I mean, that's a huge investment in your comfort. And you know, when you make a major investment, in really good gear, like it lasts forever. And you know, like all Aftco stuff.
Indeed. Hey, thanks a lot for the call, Steve. Appreciate the call this morning.
All right. How about next up, we find out what's going on the water. We talk to Dave Hansen, your saltwater guide. Today, Catch Sport sponsored in part by Gamakatsu Hooks, Japan's leading fish hook that sets the standard. It's got the best, the brand new Gamakatsu live bait hooks. They'll basically help keep your bait alive. They have the perfect bend. They've got a skinnier wire, so you're not piercing your bait. Your bait's going to swim harder and longer and going to get you bit. They also come with a super strong, solid one-piece ring. Get the Gamakatsu live bait hooks at your favorite tackle store. And let's talk to Dave Hansen, your saltwater guide. Good morning, Dave.
Hey, good morning, Greg. Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Pete.
Morning.
Morning.
What a phenomenal day today as we're going down to San Diego to go watch my dad get recognized, I guess you want to say, for a lot of years of a lot of great service, allowing us all to fish and do what we get to do every single day.
Such a
thank
great
you, Dad.
thing. Yeah, such a great thing that the Sport Fishing Association is of California honoring your dad, and I'll be there, and I mean, it's going to be quite a night for a great man.
Absolutely. Who's who of the sport fishing industry is all going to be there tonight. It's going to be pretty cool. But, hey, guys, what's going on out on the water? All kinds of really cool stuff. First of all, though, I talked to the captain of the Thresher a couple nights ago over at Catalina, and he was hoping that I could get the word out on your show, Pete, that this year they have written more tickets for short lobsters than they've ever written since he started working for the fishing game. For some reason, everybody thinks it's a good idea to take those ones that are just a hair short this year. So he wants to get the word out that they're on everybody, and it's not worth it, guys. It's just not worth
It's
it.
an
to go out there
expensive
and take
fine, right?
Oh my gosh, it's incredible.
And
it's absolutely incredible.
Are guys just having bad measuring on their sticks, or are they just like taking shorts?
Well, what Eric was saying was he believes that they're having a rough time catching lobsters this year because the water's so clean, and it's just not a crawl because there hasn't been any weather yet, and so guys are just desperate to bring home a lobster, so they're just thinking they can get away with it. He just wants to put the word out there that you're not going to get away with it.
That's the truth.
and it's not worth it.
I think it's like $500 per lobster.
No, it's more than that.
It's way up from $500.
Yeah.
I know it was
right.
I know it was $700 a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I mean they're very
one short lobster.
DFW is very proud of their lobsters.
They're very proud, Rick. Just like I was going to say, they're very proud of their lobsters. And guys, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I agree, man. That's not what we're
That's
about.
an expensive meal.
Yeah.
And you don't even get
right,
to keep
and it just puts a bad taste in everyone's mouth about sport fishing for lobsters. So
Sure.
Exactly.
let's just not do that anymore, guys. Let's take a look at what we're doing and let's police ourselves and make life a lot easier for everybody. But hey, big news. 267 yesterday, between the 267 and the 209, there is a phenomenal amount of that catchable size yellowfin. Stuff's like 12 to 25 pounds, and it's pretty much all over the place. Getting the school to bite is a different thing, but the amount of fish, the amount of volume that everyone's seeing out there is crazy. The Western Pride, my buddy Mike was out there yesterday. They got 37 fish for extended three-quarter day. And we're talking about the middle of November, and we're catching yellowfin like 15 miles off the beach. That's pretty impressive. Also, if you go over out there to the Tanner Bank, another phenomenal week of that giant bluefin fishing over there. I had a buddy go over there on his Parker day before yesterday. Him and his two buddies had 4 fish all over 100 pounds. The weather's been absolutely spectacular to make that run out to the Tanner. It's a long run. It's 80-something miles off the beach, but if you take a look and watch the weather, and the weather we had all week was insane for going out there. Even the small boaters could go out there, but you got to pay attention to that weather, guys, because that's a long ways to run, and you're way outside of San Clemente Island if something bad happens.
Yeah, no doubt about it, for sure. Good advice there. And, of course, Danny's been on it, thanks to you, Mark Wish, and all the guys that report to fishdope.com with good information. And this time of the year, like all times of the year, it's so important to stay on fresh dope, and that's what fishdope.com has. You can save $20 on a new membership. Fishdope.com. Use the code Hookup now, lowercase, no space, and you can get all this information for 365 days for like $149 for the entire year. So there you go. Dave, how do we find you?
All right, there's a couple different ways. You guys can look me up on the web at Your Saltwater Guide. Send me an email through that or give me a call at 949-374-0786. I'd be happy to come with you on your boat and teach you how to use all that equipment you bought.
Very good. Thanks, Dave Hansen, your Saltwater Guide, and we'll see you tonight, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, Pete, Kelly, and I will see you tonight. Have a good day.
All right, thanks very much. All right, 877-792-1090, open right now. Let's jump in the phones.
You got it. Let's talk to Pablo, calling us from Chula Vista this morning. Good morning, Pablo. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
What's up, Pablo?
Hey. All right. Hey, I've been fishing a long time, and I've always worn a vest with me. Whenever I go fishing, I take a nice vest. It'd be nice to have a waterproof one. The one that you're talking about is waterproof?
We call it water resistant and windproof. If you take spray, it'll keep you relatively dry. But if you like vests, you will love this thing. It's got hand warmer pockets. It's got a vertical pocket for your glasses or cell phone up on the chest. I wear the thing all the time.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, one other question. I've been using these Aftco roller guides, the lightweight ones, for years.
Uh-huh.
Is there some kind of maintenance I could do for them? All I do is wash them off with water, and they continue working. But some of them kind of get loud.
If they get loud, that means they're turning, which is a good thing. And what I always tell guys is you really don't need to do anything to them. You can do too much to them if you get into taking them apart and spraying them and doing all kinds of things like that with them. You do more damage than good most of the time. The bearing is molded out of Delrin, which is self-lubricating, and the rollers are all titanium. So there's nothing that's ever going to corrode or do anything funny on you. So my suggestion would be just keep fishing with them.
As long as they're Aftco rollers.
As long as they're Aftco lightweight rollers. Yeah,
the lightweight rollers, yeah. Now, what about regular Aftco rollers?
Regular Aftco rollers, I break mine down every 2 years. I take the roller pin and screw and the bearing out. I wipe everything with a paper towel, maybe with a little bit of solvent on it, Simple Green, 409, whatever you like, and then put a very tiny amount. I like Stay Lube, the blue trailer grease, a little tiny bit on the outside of the bearing. Tighten up the screw and the pin real tight, make sure everything's rolling good, and go fishing.
There you go.
Simple is better on that stuff.
You gave a great kind of description of why a guy would use roller guides now. You see a lot of big fish rods, going back and forth between ring guides and roller guides, and you talked about the difference, and in friction having a roller guide. And I was just wondering if you could kind of say that again, like if a guy was trying to make his choice on putting, building guides, building a big fish rod right now, the advantage of having that roller guide over a traditional guide.
What I always tell guys is if you're going to catch fish that's a multiple of the test of the line, you're going to try to catch a 100-pound bluefin on 30-pound line. You're going to catch a 200-pound bluefin on 50-pound line. You want to have roller guides to eliminate the running friction that happens on guides. Any kind of ring guide. It's like the difference between pulling your anchor over the railing of the boat or pulling it over the bow roller. Which would you rather do? Yeah. I mean, when you want to have minimal running friction so that the drag on the reel is the drag that you are able to control, not the drag over the guides, but the drag on the reel. With the roller guides turning right with your line, you eliminate running friction. The drag on the reel works smoother and better. That's your connection to the fish. And if you're trying to catch a fish that weighs 200 pounds on 50-pound line, definitely have to have a roller guide, in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm biased.
I agree. Yeah, but it works.
But I know what works.
And you can prove it over and over again. You've had those demonstrations in the Aftco booth about what a roller guide, the friction difference between roller guides and ring guides.
Yeah, it's
night and day.
Big difference. And I know with braided line and the little lightweight roller guides, that's such an awesome combination.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
And you just don't, the visual doesn't do justice because you think, they don't cast, but they cast amazing.
Yeah, they do. They cast just fine.
No difference.
No difference at all.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming away, including more of your phone calls. Again, the only line open if you want to get through right now, toll free, 877-792-1090. More Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the mighty 1090.
Pete here. I was fortunate enough to use the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 touchscreen chart plotter and sonar unit on my boat this summer and fall. And let me say, it's truly incredible. With an easy-to-use tablet-style interface that's fresh but familiar, the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 combines a multi-touch screen with push-to-select rotary dial for precision control and speedy response. As for marking schools of tuna, yellowtail, and more, it's the best. You run over a school, and there they are in full color and high definition. The new NSS Evo 2 built-in sonar technology, including chirp and structure scan, can't be beat. I recently added the Simrad AP24 autopilot to my system. I've had other autopilots before, but I can tell you this one is simple, sensitive, and accurate. It integrates with my Simrad NSS Evo 2. I set a waypoint, touch the screen, and the boat steers to that spot. There's a lot more to the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 system and AP24 autopilot I'd like to tell you, but best just go to your local Simrad dealer or see simrad-yachting.com for more details.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know, CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
You can catch more lobster and pull deeper with the Ace Line Hauler. It's faster so you can get those bugs in the boat. Now the Ace Line Hauler is better than ever with a Bulldog hands-free accessory. It pulls your hoops hands-free and even coils your line. If you're not yet on the Ace Line Hauler team, you must like sore arms. Get the Ace Line Hauler and make lobster and crab hooping more fun and productive at selected dealers or check acelinehauler.com.
Want to catch the yellowfin tuna of a lifetime but don't have weeks at a time to commit trying? Then check out Journeyman Sport Fishing in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Based in Nuevo Vallarta, Journeyman offers an angling dream come true. Outstanding world-class fishery, immaculately maintained and outfitted boat, ultra-limited competition at the rail, and a Journeyman crew that has the experience and passion to make your angling dreams reality. A 2.5-day trip offers 2 full days of fishing from sunup to sundown and only requires 4 days away from your other commitments. In the 2013 season, Journeyman landed dozens of yellowfin over 200 pounds and several over 300. Choose the trip that fits your schedule. 2.5, 3.5, up to 8 days of the ultimate fishing for giant yellowfin tuna. For complete details, check the web at journeymansportfishing.com or contact 619-571-1979. Journeyman Sport Fishing, where angling dreams become reality.
If the fish are biting, I'm on my boat, rain or shine. Of course I wear my life jacket. It's like wearing a seatbelt. Clip it on, grab my tackle box, and hit the water.
Love California, Boat California, Save California. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
XEPRS 1090 AM Rosarito, Baja California.
The best NFL coverage is right here. San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Indeed. You want to get through, here's your chance. 877-792-1090. Open right now. 858-457-1090. All the lines are full, but keep on trying.
We're going to get you through. Let's jump right back into the phones. They're packed up. We're going to talk to Rick, calling us from Lemon Grove this morning. Hi, Rick. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Well, happy Sunday morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rick.
Blessed enough, last year just to call in to ask a question, and one of the prizes, or the prize that day, was the Aftco board shorts and a shirt. And I never heard of Aftco, and man, that is the best stuff I wear every day. So a couple questions to that. Do you make raincoats? And then in the way of clothing, is there shrinkage in the clothing? When the one guy was asking about in between sizes and turtlenecks, because the one thing I realize is my neck gets cold a lot.
Well, we don't, and thank you for your kind comments on the clothing. We appreciate it. We make multiple different levels of rain protection gear, waterproof gear. We have the anhydrous, which is coming out right now, which is very, very high end, head to toe waterproof gear. And then we have a couple other jackets below that are a little less expensive that will also do the job to keep you dry. As far as turtlenecks go, we don't really make a true turtleneck, but we have the Samurai performance shirt with the hood. And if you don't have the hood up around your head, it's basically like a turtleneck, for keeping your neck warm. So I would say take a look at the Samurai hood, which is on the website there at Aftco.com.
And it's made of that Aftec fiber, right?
It's the Aftec fabric.
Yeah.
So it's got the great UV resistance and some wind resistance and wicks.
Is it in like a little pocket, or is it just kind of hanging around your neck until you put it up?
It just hangs behind your neck. It's just sewn around the back. But it actually has a higher collar. It's got a higher collar than what you'd have normally. Yeah.
Check that out. The Aftco
Samurai hood.
Yeah.
And shrinkage. Does your material shrink much?
None of it shrinks. It's all
None of it shrinks.
Nope.
So wash it, dry it.
Put it on, and it fits.
It's gonna fit the same way forever.
Yeah. There you go. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning. Nice comments there. Very much.
All right. How about we jump back into them? Talk to Dave. Dave's called us from Spring Valley this morning. Hi, Dave. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys, and thanks for taking my call.
Hi, Dave.
Morning.
I just wanted to get a few more Christmas ideas this year. I got a lot of fishing buddies, and everybody loves Aftco.
One of the Christmas gifts that we find we sell a lot of are gloves. A lot of guys buy their buddies gloves because they don't realize it, but everybody needs a good glove for fishing. And that new Solmar glove that we've got out is a great all-around glove for most any kind of fishing that you want to do.
$35, $32,
yeah, it's a $32 retail glove or less.
$9 and $32.
Yeah, and then we've got a couple of smaller rod belts, the Alejos rod belt and the Arena rod belt,
That's
which
a really good call.
It's a price point part. It's not super expensive, but it's a very nice quality aluminum anodized, Aftco quality type of product. Everybody needs a nice little travel rod belt, so the Alejos or the Arena, which is brand new.
Nice. It's lighter weight.
Yeah, it's very lightweight.
So for travel, good.
Perfect for small tuna, roosterfish, sailfish, that kind of stuff. So, gloves, rod belts, and then, of course, just go to Aftco.com and look at all the cool new stuff on there. Yeah. That Vesto vest, I've given a few of those things away to my buddies. Everybody I've given that thing to. They love it.
They're cool. And the fabric, it's the same as what we're giving away today. We're giving away the Vesto, but the Horizon, the same fabric. It's very, very comfortable.
Yeah, it's nice stuff. It's high-end, but not so high-end that you wouldn't want to give it as a gift to a good friend.
Yeah. Hopefully
thank you very much, guys.
All right, good idea. Yeah, I can't believe we're already talking about Christmas. But a week from Thursday is Thanksgiving. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Oh, man. I always get caught the same way every year. Start thinking about like, man, it's almost Christmas, and we got our Royal Star long range trip where you don't think about it because it's pre-Thanksgiving time. Then hop on the boat, and all of a sudden you come back, and Christmas is a week away. It's like, man, I got issues.
Yeah, you get serious.
I'm gonna do some Aftco.com in here when I get back.
Aftco.com, baby.
Exactly.
Simple.
Exactly.
I like that idea that one of our callers had about a gift card. Because you don't know sizes and stuff
That's
like
a
that.
great
Aftco.com, you buy a gift card for somebody.
Great way to do
They can find their style, their size, the whole deal.
Yep.
Good idea. All right, let's go ahead and jump back in the phones, Rick.
All right, next up we're going to talk to Jeff, who's calling us from Poway this morning. Hi, Jeff. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, guys. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Jeff?
Well, thank you.
Hey, I love the Aftco product. The sun gloves especially. I get that sunburn on the hands, and those things really help out on that.
No doubt.
That's good. Thank you.
They're gentle on the bait, too. That's the other good thing.
Good idea.
Yes.
But the shoe inserts, Doug down there at Fisherman's told me that you guys stopped making those.
We did. We discontinued them. The fish feet. We sold lots of those things. I mean, I've got them in every pair of shoes I own, other than my slippers. They don't go in those. But we quit selling those. I don't know whether it was just lack of volume or what the reason was. I don't not involved in those kinds of decisions. But yep, no more fish feet.
Darn.
Bring them back.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. Bill, you're listening. Bring them back.
I think we were one of those places where, obviously Southern California is the only place we care about, but, it was the most perfect thing for us at Fisherman's Landing because they were so comfy and they went into every pair of boots. But, Greg, you'll attest to this, not everybody wears Extra Toughs, fishing outside of the West Coast.
That's right.
Flip-flops and everything else. And I just think, it's one of those things that we at our tackle store, we thought it was the greatest product Aftco had ever made. And same deal. Literally, everybody bought it. We bought a new pair of tennis shoes. They were, it also went with a new pair of fish feet. But
Yeah. I think there's just other competing products on the market. It was one of those things that people had a lot of choices on it. But no, I know we sold a lot of them, but again, it's not my my end of the deal.
Thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate that very much, and the support of Aftco products too. 858-457-1090 just opened up. There's your shot.
Ron in San Diego, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. How you doing, Ron?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I got a question for Greg. Does your Aftco clothing, will they shrink if you put them in a dryer?
No.
When you wash them?
No, none of it shrinks.
Nothing that Aftco makes shrinks. Is that right?
I don't want to say nothing. T-shirts might shrink a couple of percentage points, but we make everything on the plus side anyway. Mm-hmm. But as far as all the performance fabric and the shorts and everything else, no, none of it's going to shrink. Not one little bit.
So you buy true to size, especially if buying shorts or performance shirts, things like that.
Correct. Buy true to size. It's all generous cut. And you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And it's just quality fabric. It always has been. It always will be. That's the thing, like we were saying at the beginning of the show, Aftco doesn't make a T-shirt because it's cheaper and less expensive. It's always been high quality. It always lasts. It always, deals with stains better than other stuff does. It's always been really good stuff.
Pretty much everything we make has been pre-laundered anyway. So it's...
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're not going to... even in the T-shirts, I think most of the stuff is pre-laundered, so you're not going to have a lot of problems with shrinkage.
There was already shrinkage there. All right, very good. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. That does free up 858-457-1090.
All right, how about next we talk to Chuck. Chuck's calling us from Long Beach this morning. Hi, Chuck. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Morning.
Good.
My question is, what do you guys offer in terms of kid sizes, not only for clothes but also for the gear like belts and harnesses and things like that?
And the little Arena belt has got the Arena and the Alijos. Well, all the belts now have a Velcro closure on them. So provided that the kid is at least a 28-inch waist, we can fit them. But under a 28-inch waist, I'm sorry to say we don't have anything to fit. So he's got to be a pretty good sized kid. Like I say, 28 inches is about the very bottom end of what our stuff would fit. Now, in the clothing, we have a whole line of kid stuff. You can go to Aftco.com, and there's all kinds of kid sizes in shirts.
Women's clothing, a complete line of women's
the
clothing?
women's stuff is more on the Guy Harvey side than it is on the Aftco side. But, yeah, there's a bunch of women's selections in there. But for shorts, yeah, we have specific sizes.
On the Aftco side, specific for kids.
Yes,
kids
we do.
Sizes.
Yep.
Yeah. I've seen some of the real cute ones that you show at the shows. It's amazing how small they get.
You go to the southeast where of course it's like religion down there. Everybody wears Aftco down there, and you go down on the docks. Literally every single guy's got MO1s and a Guy Harvey T-shirt and Costa sunglasses, and there's like an outfit. And we have so many little kids down there, young kids and folks that buy our MO1 junior size shorts for all the young guys and for the kids, and they're very popular.
I can't tell you how many of the kid-size T-shirts go. That is the staple. I got off my long-range trip, and I'm buying a souvenir for the kids at home when I get off the boat. To come. I'm like, we have 4 racks full of those Aftco kid shirts, and that's every guy that comes off of his 5-day trips buying a shirt for Junior when he comes home, and then or the opposite. Mom and 2 kids come down to see Dad when they come back, and both of them are sporting the Aftco kid shirts. Like, that's our staple.
Nice.
Cool. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
All right. How about next up we talk to Kenny, who's calling us from Hawaiian Gardens this morning. Good morning, Kenny. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, morning, guys.
Morning.
I've been buying Aftco clothing for a long time, and thanks to the show, I've got a lot of, swag from you guys and stuff from that.
That's cool.
What we miss, though, is the old parking lot sales you guys used to have over there. Any word of maybe firing that back up or anything?
Kenny, thank you for your kind comments on the clothing there. No, we're not going to do the parking lot sale anymore. We just, to tell you frankly, we just don't make much stuff anymore that we don't sell. I mean, it used to be back in the day, we'd have some overruns of stuff we didn't sell. There was styles and colors that didn't work out, and we ended up with some seconds and things like that we needed to blow out. But the business has been refined so much over the last 6-8 years, I guess it's been since we did the last parking lot sale. We've refined the process and the product so much that we just, the parking lot sale was always kind of something that we weren't all that stoked about anyway. We don't want to give people the impression that we're competing with our dealers. So, yeah, I'm actually happy to say we don't do it anymore.
Yeah. And what's amazing, and thanks for the call, Kenny, appreciate that. What's amazing about Aftco is the growth from those days, from the old building where we used to do the Aftco parking lot sales.
That's right.
To the new building that you guys are in now.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. You walk into that place, it's a city.
Yeah, we went from being in 5 buildings in Irvine that totaled about 80,000 feet total to now we're in 1 building in Santa Ana that's 120,000 square feet. So
wow,
that's a big hunk of property with a whole lot of inventory.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, hey, let's jump back into the phones. This time we're going to talk to John, who's calling us from Bonsall this morning. Hi, John. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hi, guys. Hey, I had a question for the skipper. When you're baiting up a marlin, see him there, is there someone responsible for the bait to throw the bait to the, or do you have to just grab your own bait and toss it in?
Good question.
That is a very good question. Okay, so let me explain to you how we do it, which is a little different than some people do it. When we bait a marlin, whether he's a tailer or a sleeper or a feeder, we always bait the fish with the boat moving. We never stop the boat. We don't wind all the lines in. We keep as much gear in the water and try to get it in front of the fish in mass. So what we typically do when we spot a fish on the surface, we send a guy to the bow. We have a bow bait tank. My brother doesn't like to have the bait pre-hooked. He likes to hook the bait so the bait is maximum lively. The guy on the bow, as we go by the fish.
Stop real quick. How do you hook the bait when you're casting on a marlin?
Typically sideways through the nose.
Sideways through the nose.
I sometimes will hook the bait through the back, just behind the gills, if I want the bait to dive a little bit, but only on heavier line, because with lighter line it puts too much pressure on it. But as we're sliding by the fish, our guy in the bow is casting on the fish when the fish is at 10 o'clock, okay, for a right-handed caster. He's throwing on the fish, and we're still at an idle speed at that point with everything in the water. As we throw that bait and the guy starts walking the bait back from the bow, my brother is slowly turning the boat into the fish so that when the fish gets about off the transom, all of the lures plus the drop back bait that went in the water from the cockpit are all being pulled by the marlin. And what ends up happening a lot of the time, fish that don't necessarily want to eat the bait that you cast will come up behind the boat to look at the teasers or the lures or one of the drop back baits, and we pick that fish up. Where other guys who would have stopped the boat and cast a bait, the marlin doesn't like that bait, the marlin just wanders off. You don't ever get another shot at him. So
how fast are you going when you're doing this?
Typically idle speed.
Just enough to keep the line straight.
Just enough to keep everything straight.
So you pull the throttles back. You're not at full trolling speed.
Not at full troll speed. Not at full troll speed. Unless it's a tailer where we have to be at full troll speed. But the difference is we now pull 6 or 7 different opportunities in front of that fish instead of just one bait cast from the bow, and the marlin looks at it, and for whatever reason he doesn't like it, and he wanders off and you don't get him. And you'd be amazed at how many fish we get up behind the boat.
Yeah. So
go ahead, please.
So are you? Are they typically going to eat that live bait, or are they going to eat one of the lures at that?
I would have to say that more than 50% of the time, they don't eat the bait that we casted.
They do not.
They eat the drop back bait, or they come up on a teaser and we pick the fish off with a drop back, or they go over and the worst possible thing, other than them not eating at all, is they go over and they grab a lure. But most of the time at idle speed, they'll look at the lure before they'll crash it, and it gives us enough time to steer the drop back bait in front of them.
Okay.
And we're almost always dropping 2 baits from the cockpit and throwing a bait from the bow.
2 baits from the cockpit, throwing a bait from the bow, and trolling 5 lines.
5 lures and 2 teasers.
Oh my goodness!
So
like you say,
that's a
just
lot of stuff.
Creating all that opportunity in front of them maybe just fires them up enough that I'm gonna
Yeah. The downside is you got to have a good crew that can get you out of tangles.
Sure.
And the other thing is you got to have a good captain that as soon as you hang the fish, he knows which way to turn the boat to clear the fish from all the lines. And we do that pretty darn good. But
cool.
It is kind
Takes
of
some practice.
It's the advanced course.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a lot of lines in the water. Hey, good question. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. It's a good education. Let's say just like your average guy out wanting to catch marlin in Southern California when it's a season. That's kind of advanced. What would you recommend? The average guy going out, I want to catch a marlin. They see a feeder. What's the procedure in your recommendation?
I would say the main thing is don't stop the boat. Keep the boat going, even if it's at idle speed, so that your trolling gear is still in the water and doing its job. And then get as many baits on the fish as you can. Mm-hmm. And bait every event. And by event, I mean you see a jumper, you see a swirl that you don't know what it was, you see a splash on a kelp patty and you're not sure what it was. We put baits in on everything. Now, we carry a lot of bait. You have to have a lot of bait to do that. But if I'm a private boater and I'm out there and you're low to the water, you don't get a real good view of things, man, I'm putting a mackerel on everything that I see that I think could be a marlin. Mm-hmm. The worst thing that can happen is you don't get bit. The best thing is you come tight.
Yeah. There you go.
But you can't come tight if you don't put a bait in the water.
That's right. They're not going to eat it unless it's in the water.
Exactly.
Yeah, indeed. Let's go ahead and jump back in the phone.
Dan and Encinitas is up next on Let's Talk Hookup. What's up, Dan?
Morning, Dan.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I've got an Aftco belt, and it's a gimbal style, but I've got a couple rods that don't have gimbal access. Does Fisherman's, can you modify the rod butt to gimbal?
You can take the rod. It's very easy to epoxy a gimbal on an existing fishing rod. I think that's what your question is about, modifying the rod.
Yeah.
And then with all of our belts, you can remove the gimbal pin. Well, the exception of the new Arena belt, it doesn't have a removable pin, but all the others have a removable gimbal pin, so you can take the pin out if you don't have a gimbal on the rod. But, putting a gimbal on a rod, you go see Rick or any of the boys there at Fisherman's Landing, and they can have that done for you.
And what is the advantage of having a gimbal on a rod?
The main thing about having the gimbal on the rod is if you're trolling with the rod, it keeps the reel and everything vertical in the position that you want it, so that the line's running over the guides and all those kinds of things. But the main thing is when you're fighting a fish, the gimbal eliminates all the side-to-side torque that happens when you're winding on the reel.
Less fatigue, right?
Less fatigue for your arms and your hands trying to keep the rod straight up and down.
There you go.
And I think people don't realize how much of that exists when you're fighting, especially when you're fighting a fish with heavier tackle or wider reels that want to turn upside down on you. I mean, you just don't realize how much of that gear you're fighting until it's eliminated. One of those things you just don't realize how good it is until you're missing the bad.
No question. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right, how about next up we talk to Ralph from Los Angeles. Hi, Ralph. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
How you guys doing? Okay, this is the question. I have a bunch of products, but the product that I'm looking for from Aftco, and I had bought one about a year and a half ago. It's called an Aftco Fish Ninja Convertible Sun Protection Headgear. I cannot find this piece. I've looked for it on probably one of the best headgears that the company came out with. It protects your neck, your face, and you can put it over your head and put your hat right over it.
Right. Real familiar with it.
Yeah, that's just the Ninja mask without the shirt, right?
Yeah, the Ninja mask without the shirt is the Ninja mask and face cover. If you go to the website at Aftco.com, if we've got it, it's on there. If we don't got it, then it's not on there. If we've sold out of them or we don't offer them, then you won't find it on there. But if you go to Aftco.com, everything that we make is on there.
You can type in Fish Ninja Mask.
Yeah, do a search on it. And you should be able to find it in there.
Yeah, very good. All right. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Hey, speaking of killer Aftco gear, when we come back, we're going to find out who's got that brand new Horizon fleece and the Vesto vest coming their way. We got more Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Get it all at Dana Landing in Mission Bay. It's truly the one-stop shop for a great day on the water. Looking for a fishing charter? Dana Landing had you covered with several boats, including the new Blackjack, perfect for 2 to 4 anglers, and the Impulse that will carry up to 6 anglers in comfort and style. Dana Landing has a huge tackle shop with everything you need to go fish bay bass, tuna, or marlin, plus expert anglers on staff to help. They even have Mexican and California fishing licenses and reel repair. The deli at Dana Landing is a local's favorite with all the food, ice, and beverages you need. When it comes to freshwater tackle, East County Bait and Tackle is the spot for a great day on the lake. The ultimate in rods and reels, the latest freshwater lures, and live bait. ECBT has a staff second to none when it comes to sharing their passion for fishing. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview in Lakeside, and Dana Landing is right across from SeaWorld next to the Dana Launch Ramp in Mission Bay. Check DanaLanding.com for more details.
This is Greg Stotesbury from Aftco. For more than 55 years, the American Fishing Tackle Company has been recognized as the premier manufacturer of precision-built offshore fishing tackle. Aftco continues this tradition today with an innovative technical fishing clothing line designed and built for ultimate performance on the water. From our next-generation fishing shorts like the Tactical Camo or Stealth Shorts to our Aft Block sun protection shirts like the Fish Ninja and Samurai Sun Hoodie, the entire Aftco clothing lineup is purpose-built with the latest Aftec fabrics and designed with functional features to deliver top performance for the demanding angler. Visit www.aftco.com to find a dealer near you.
22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro is home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnights on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and 3/4-day trips on the Native Sun. Plus, you can charter the Ultra, Spectra, and True Line. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. Take advantage of the Wednesday specials on the Pursuit and Monte Carlo, and kids fish free with a paid adult on the afternoon half-day. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or book online at 22ndstreet.com.
Are you feeling that itch to get out on the water? Come fishing on the American Angler and reacquaint yourself with some familiar faces and make new friends. Captain owners Brian Kiyohara and Sam Patella take pride in every aspect of the American Angler operation, from their loyal and trusted crew to the sashimi-grade fresh fish you'll take home. It's easy to find a vacation that fits your schedule. We have everything from day-and-a-half to 10-day trips and longer. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. We want you to become a part of the American Angler family.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. You're right, the big winner of that Horizon fleece and the Vesto vest is going to Norman in San Diego. Norman, you are going to be so stoked. That gear is so nice.
Yeah, it is great, and thank you for bringing out
that was
great
cool,
gear.
guys.
And thank you, Aftco, for having the gear that we wear.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pete. Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
And we appreciate the support, and Bill and the whole gang at Aftco are just awesome people. So
thanks for that.
It's our honor to be associated with such a great company. And, Greg, if somebody wants more information, wants to go shopping for Christmas or just for themselves, Aftco.com?
Go to Aftco.com. There's actually 3 different websites connected underneath that one banner. So you can look at clothing, you can look at hardware, you can look at everything we make. Of course, Guy Harvey, all the Aftco clothing. You know, we're doing 2 catalogs a year for both lines. Lots of new product coming out all the time.
Yeah.
Hundreds of pages of product. And for all the hardware that you need, go to your favorite local dealer like Fisherman's Landing, and they get you taken care of.
Yeah, and of course all the clothing's at various the tackle dealers that support.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Greg, and good fishing to you. And
thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Pleasure having you on the show. And good fishing to you all out there. We'll be back next Saturday and Sunday. Next Saturday, Captain Russ Braswell from the Shogun will be here talking Guadalupe fishing, tuna fishing, and more. Next Saturday, that's going to be a great show. And then next Sunday, Mike Wynn and Lori Byron from Turner's Outdoorsman. That'll be a great show. Thanks for listening today. We'll see you next week right back here on the Mighty 1090.